Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Beckett list. Today I was hoping to be talking about a film in which a rich sadist inflicts pain using a series of gadgets and gizmos, but unfortunately Lego Batman will have to wait till next week, so 50 Shades Darker will have to do for this week. For those unaware, this is actually the second time we've seen the 50 Shades Cliterature on the big screen after the original release of 50 Shades of Grey in Valentine's Day 2015. The original 50 Shades of Grey was a fairly middle-of-the-road flick, a load of unlikable characters faffing about until a lackluster climax, no pun intended. The whole film took itself way too seriously and it really suffered for that. Where the original film stumbled, this sequel manages to improve a lot upon what they got wrong originally. When I was sat in the cinema looking around, I was 20 years too young and the wrong gender. It seems like this time round they know a lot more about the actual demographic that they're trying to appeal to. They're not taking the film as seriously. It's still very tongue-in-cheek as well as tongue everywhere else. This time around they also seem to include a lot more of a story. There actually seems to be some kind of substance fleshing out characters' kind of motivations and events in the film. And then that does make the kind of sex scenes that they do include, makes them feel a little bit forced. It's almost, shall we fuck? Yeah, I think we shall. Which really does affect the flow of the film quite a bit. It's almost humorous when they do cut to these scenes now, because there's genuinely quite an interesting story behind it, but it just feels too disjointed. I mean, a similar film to 50 Shades Darker could be made just by watching The Notebook and then pausing every 20 minutes to watch some hardcore, tastefully shot pornography. However, there was one thing that I would definitely like to see coming from this film. There was a character introduced, actually, Mr. Grey's housekeeper, at one point in the film. I think she was called Mrs. Jones. And I would really want to see a film about her. I mean, you do feel bad for her, really, as how to be this guy's cleaner. Especially, you do see throughout the film the condition that he does leave a particular room of his in, and it's pretty graphic. So I wouldn't envy her job, and I would genuinely like to see a film just about how her life is. I think that would be worth watching. They could almost do it like a spin-off, like they're planning on doing with Star Wars, like they did with Rogue One. I mean, just do that as a separate film. That would be great, like how she got the job, her first year there. I mean, it couldn't have been easy. But yeah, I'd watch that. All in all, I'd actually definitely recommend 50 Shades Darker. If you enjoyed the original, or if you're relatively new to the franchise, it's not that bad. I mean, you kind of do need to see the original to kind of follow the story, when there is a story. But all in all, it's not a badly made film. It definitely it's not trying to be serious this time. You could get that from the idea of the film. There's much more humour. The characters, particularly Jamie Dornan's character of Mr. Grey, comes a lot more likeable. Comes across a lot more likeable. And Dakota Johnson's character of Anastasia doesn't come across as so much of a bitch, I guess. She just seemed a bit miserable in the first one. She seems a lot nicer in this one. And you can actually see more of a dynamic between them. But yeah, no, I'd definitely recommend it as a film to watch. Yeah. Plus, there's an actress called Marcia Gay Harden, which I thought was a joke in the credits, but it turns out she is actually a real woman with the name Marcia Gay Harden. Anyway, what would I recommend you accompany a fine piece of cinema such as this with? Well, really the only thing I could think of offhand, or really what I had to hand, was just a little bit of Malibu, really, is all I really had. probably just brush it straight into your teeth. It's really coconutty. It's actually pretty good though. Anyway, please like and subscribe, and let me know of any films you wouldn't mind seeing in the future. Oh, that fucking burns.